The incident could have not happened. But yet, it did happen unfortunately. Yes, it happened exactly 41 years ago. In the early period of the 1980s decade, there seemed to be the simmering of extreme tensions between the United States of America and the erstwhile or former Soviet Union, or the USSR. It's actually on the onset of the ongoing Cold War between these two superpowers on the planet. 5 weeks earlier, prior to the incident, President Ronald Reagan had marked a statement calling Soviet Union an evil empire. However, on the intervening night of 31st August to 1st September 1983, the fiery game of the cat and mouse turned deadly. It's August 31, 1983. At New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport, Korean Airlines Flight 007, a jumbo Boeing 747 civilian airliner, took off lately on its intended destination, Gimpo International Airport, Seoul, the capital city of South Korea. There were 240 passengers aboard the massive jetliner, including an American congressman and United States representative, a man named Larry McDonald. Also boarded were 105 South Korean nationals, 1 Indian national, and 62 American passengers, and the rest of the other nationalities from various countries of the world, and 29 crew members, including the pilots. The aircraft was piloted in command by 45-year-old Captain Chun Byung-in, and the first officer was Son Dong-hui. It made its long journey to the northwest towards Anchorage, Alaska. With the stopover for refueling, the flight took off at 4 a.m. local time from Anchorage Airport to cover its remainder of the journey to Seoul, South Korea, the final destination. As the pilots were oblivious to the fact that the aircraft's autopilot mode would actually not work as per its actual function on that fateful night, due to the navigational error, the flight started to veer off from its normal intended flight path and deviated and kept drifting off course from some 200 to 300 miles away. As the plane kept on flying on to the west while it just crossed over the international deadline over the Pacific Ocean, the local date shifted to 1st of September 1983. Gradually, it was approaching towards the territory of the Soviet Union and entered eventually into passing over Kamchatka Peninsula, where some top-secret Soviet military installations were believed to be located. The flight apparently appeared as a blip on the Soviet radar screen. The Soviet military air defense went on high alert as the intruding unidentified plane was spotted over Kamchatka region, and the military commanders and officials immediately scrambled 2 Sukhoi Su-15 interceptor fighter jets airborne to intercept the unidentified plane to signal and inform the crew that they violated the Soviet-Russian airspace through International Distress Frequency Code. However, very soon, KAL 007 crossed off the Kamchatka Peninsula and re-entered the international waters of the Sea of Okhotsk. The time was probably 3:25 to 27 a.m. Japan time when the flight re-entered again into the restricted Soviet airspace, and at this time Soviet General Major Gennady Osipovich was handed over the responsibility of tracking down the airliner flying over the territory, and finally he took off from a nearby Soviet air base to the air to intercept the Korean flight. The pilot mistook the Soviet pilot mistook the Boeing commercial airliner as an RC-135 US spy plane that was flying around the same area during a reconnaissance mission. Anyways, after tracking the plane for some 11 minutes, he was finally given the order to destroy the target. He had no time to think about whether to make it out about the difference between a civilian airliner and an armed military plane. He had his job to accomplish. He started firing warning cannon shots towards the aircraft multiple times, but received no response. Finally, he locked upon the intended target of the jumbo airliner and fired two air-to-air K-2 heat-seeking missiles at the end of the aircraft. The missiles hit the aircraft's tail and damaged the hydraulic system. The Korean jumbo jet just started to plummet into the Sea of Japan, just east of Moneron Island of the Soviet Union. While it took barely 12 seconds for the airplane to go on a spiral spin to plummet 35,000 feet from the sky to the sea. All 269 people on board the plane were killed instantly. 2 weeks later, the wreckage of the flight were recovered by the Soviet regime, and however, they, along with the black box of the destroyed aircraft, were kept secret until 1992, the year of 1992, when the dissolution of the USSR ultimately occurred. Thank you.